Hi everyone, Seth Weiner here, your auctioneer. You're tuned in to Coffee Connections, Insights with Innovators, and we've got a great show in store for you all. Thanks for joining us. As a reminder, maybe you missed one of our 56 episodes. Pop on over to coffeeconnections.live for all of they're all videoed there. And we've got the audio. I'm a little lazy. The audio is there, but I got to plug it in for you so you can get it on your podcasting softwares and, all the likes and all that stuff. But hey, it's on YouTube, so you can tube it. Gosh, there's so much to talk about, but we're going to jump into the show here in a second. I want to tell you, one of our upcoming guests, though, coming up is, if you're a nonprofit, you need to pay attention to this one. It's Windfall Data, and I'll tell you more about them on social media, but on the quick, you'll want to know about the show because they do a data pull of all of your supporters, and they let you know all sorts of insights. So when you're planning your fundraising, it's nice to know who your supporters are, where they classify, and all this sort of stuff. But there's a lot of insights that they're going to share. So that one I want to let everyone know about because it's a really good tool for you all. So kind of breaking the mold here and not just talking to our nonprofits in Atlanta, but I want to give some more tools and resources to you all. Auction season is on. I tell you, 2 weeks ago, we were in Memphis, Tennessee. If you were on our Facebook and social media, you saw that. And we did a Mempho Music Festival, raising money for St. Jude. And it was phenomenal. A music festival, the bands, a widespread panic guitar sold for over $15,000. The Avett Brothers banjo at like $5,000. It's just unbelievable. Wonderful support from the audience there. And supporting St. Jude, which incredible organization. So speaking of incredible organizations, let's jump into today's programming, shall we? Today we've got Megan Anderson, who's the executive director at the Furniture Bank of Metro Atlanta. Now, Megan attended the University of Notre Dame and graduated with a finance degree back in '99. From there, she spent a year in I think it's called the Jesuit Volunteer Corps. After her year of service, Megan started working over at St. Elizabeth Catholic Worker, a homeless shelter for women and children in Chicago. Speaking of Chicago, I'll be there pretty soon. She started as the GED and after-school coordinator and then became executive director. So she's got a history of being executive director. And in 2003, Megan relocated to Atlanta, and she graduated from Georgia State with her master's in social work in 2005. And that's when she began her work at the Furniture Bank. She's been the executive director there for 16 years. During her tenure, the Furniture Bank has increased the number of clients helped annually by approximately 40%. So ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Megan. Hi, Megan. How are you?
Hey, good. How are you?
I am wonderful. It's great to have you on the show, and someone that's been in the nonprofit world as long as you have and in Atlanta. And boy, you must be a wealth of knowledge. But before we get there, got to ask you, do you drink coffee?
I do. A lot of coffee, actually.
Yeah? All right. Well, do you happen to have a favorite mug?
I do. So usually I have iced coffee at work because I drink hot coffee in the morning. So using the pint glass for our upcoming 5K.
This is incredible. Hold on a second. You are our first guest to be drinking iced coffee. Now, we've talked about iced coffee, but let's look at this. Hold on a second. This is incredible. So let me see this glass again.
Easy. No.
Now, tell us about your iced coffee. Yeah, that's home brewed. Are we doing cold brew? Are we drip? What's your specialty here?
Oh, yeah. No, it's just coffee that I like it cold. It's not fancy.
You don't do anything special with it?
No, with some heavy whipping cream. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, where's your favorite place to drink coffee in Atlanta?
Oh, it's a good question. I like Dancing Goats a lot. Indicator.
Do you ever do their Dancing Goat yoga?
No. Never done that. Yeah.
No, I don't think they do that. But I bet they have a Dancing Goat yogurt, though. They must have that.
They must.
Well, we're here to talk about Furniture Bank, so I'm going to hand it over to you. And please, by all means, let everyone know everything there is to know about Furniture Bank.
All the things. So the Furniture Bank is a nonprofit and super simple. We give furniture to folks who need it. So we were created because it made a lot more sense for there to be one organization doing furniture, just like there should be a food bank in every city, there should be a furniture bank. So clients that are either moving out of homelessness, fleeing domestic violence, low income, and having some sort of life crisis that leaves them without furniture. They work really hard in order to get into apartments, but by the time they spend money on first month's rent, security deposit, utilities, they often don't have any money left for furniture. But furniture is a basic need, right? We all need beds to sleep in. We need tables to eat at, couches to watch TV on, things like that. And so we make sure that everyone who comes to us gets the furniture they need to live comfortably and safely and feel secure and happy and confident in their homes and really believe that by providing furniture, we're increasing the chances that clients are able to remain safe and stably housed, right? Which is the ultimate goal. If someone's been homeless and they've transitioned into their own apartment, the last thing you want to happen is for them to at some point become homeless again, right? You want to stop that cycle. And so we feel that by providing that one piece of the puzzle, the furniture, we're an important part of that process and helping people stay stably housed. We get referrals from over 200 other nonprofits in the Atlanta area. So
Wow.
school social workers, churches, homeless shelters, they all send their clients to us when they're ready to get furniture. And each year we give furniture to about 1,500 families, which ends up being about 5,000 people a year.
That's incredible. Wow. Lots of information there. Is this just in Atlanta, or do you reach out to Athens, Savannah, anything like that?
Yeah, so we are just in Atlanta, mostly serve Fulton, Cobb, DeKalb, Gwinnett, and Clayton. But there are other furniture banks throughout the country, but we're not like officially affiliated, but other folks do similar work in other cities.
Interesting. You mentioned over 200 nonprofits, NPOs that you work with, so that makes a lot of sense. A lot of social activists, or not actually social workers, etc. That everyone's well aware of you and part of the process of helping people.
Right. It's just more efficient for one organization to have trucks in a warehouse for furniture, right? If there wasn't a furniture bank, then every homeless shelter would be trying to figure out that piece on their own. And we can have people that specialize in driving trucks and moving furniture. So it just makes more sense.
Now, how do you get the furniture? I imagine that it's donated, right? Is it donated by businesses or just individuals or mix of both?
Mix of both. So mostly individual households. So say, you buy a new sofa and want to donate your old one. We will come pick it up in all those counties I mentioned. We also do get some hotels, dorms, and companies also donate to us, which is great. Because it's a lot of work, right? To go from house to house, get a sofa here, a bed here. It takes a long time to get up to full household, right? So if we didn't have some bulk donations, that would be a problem. But every day we pick up from at least 15 households that are giving us furniture.
Oh, that's amazing. Now, if someone's in the process of moving, being from the homeless shelter to a home, and you're going to help get some furniture in there, are they picking stuff out and enjoying that process, or are they just getting what you give?
No, yeah. So they get a half-hour private appointment in our warehouse, and they're able to walk around. We have it set up like a store. So there's a sofa section, a table section, dressers, and they are actually given stickers with a number on it, and they go through and tag the items they want, and then we either deliver it to them same day or next day, depending on where they're located.
That's amazing. Now, if someone had a couch they wanted to donate, but it needed a little bit of repair, it's one of those leather couches that needs that's got like cat scratches on it or something like that.
Yeah.
Are you all cleaning and repairing stuff, or is it got to be in condition to go?
No, yeah, it's got to be in good condition. We just don't quite have the staff or resources for that, and so we ask everything to be, not stained or torn, and just really things come in and they go out the next day. So things need to be just like ready to go.
Now, with like partnerships with like Goodwill or any of that, are they, when their inventory gets high, are they dropping stuff to you, or is there any partnership
No,
with that?
so we do partner in the ways that like they take things that we don't take, right? So we don't take clothing, we don't take books. So if we end up with stuff like that, we definitely take it to a local Goodwill, near us. But beyond that, there's not a ton of partnership. But definitely, if they can't pick up some furniture, they'll refer the callers to us, and vice versa. We do the same.
And what about where are you located?
We are in the west end of Atlanta, so
Nice.
yeah, right off the Lee Street exit off 20.
Yes, so that explains the
The train that's going by right now. Can you hear the train?
I can't hear it right now. No.
Okay, good.
How large of a staff do you have?
So we have 14 staff members, but there are just 5 of us in the offices, and the rest are truck drivers, truck staff, and warehouse staff. So still pretty small, but get a lot done. So it's good.
Yeah. And then what about volunteering? How do people volunteer for you all?
Yeah, so we have a couple ways to volunteer. We have some opportunities for individuals. Like I talked about the individual shopping experience. So we love to have volunteers come down and do that with clients. So helping clients pick out the sofa that goes with this chair that looks good with the kitchen table makes the experience just a lot more exciting and personal for the client. So we have that every day. We also build furniture. So sometimes we don't get enough of certain items donated, mostly dressers and kitchen tables. And so groups can come in and build those items for us. And so that's a great team building opportunity for companies and churches, community groups, things like that.
I could totally see like as an extra revenue generator for like your fundraiser coming up before the race or after the race or during the race, have like a bunch of IKEA furniture sets, and then like all the same, people pay money and the winner gets a trips, whatever, gift certificate to IKEA. But like, you have to put whoever can build this bunk bed the quickest, and like get your volunteers to do that. I don't know. That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of fun and people feel really good. It's a concrete accomplishment, right? So you build a table and then, someone's going to be eating off it the next week, which is great.
Yeah, no, that's really fantastic. Some of the stuff on your website was interesting. It was talking about like some of the greatest needs, and mattresses keep popping up. That's why I put that in the intro there. Talk a little bit about that, if you don't mind.
Yeah. So, mostly when folks come to us, the most common family size we get is 1 adult and 3 children. So that's 4 beds. And typically we serve 40 households a week. So that's a lot of beds we need. And also it's a particular challenge sometimes to get the right size beds, because if someone's moving in to an apartment with small children,
right,
they can't take 4 king size beds, right? That doesn't work. And so we take in mattresses from individuals, but we also take some from retailers. So when they deliver, local retailers, when they deliver a new bed, to someone who buys it, they offer to take away the old. And so we take all those in. And so we inspect everything. If it's in good shape, we give it to clients. If it's not in good shape, we make sure it's recycled, so it doesn't end up in the landfill. And
I imagine you got to have some sort of, you're very very cautious about bed bugs and this sort of stuff, because if that gets in there, everything's contaminated, right? Whoops, I think I lost you there for a second. Whoop, you there?
Sorry about that. Yeah. We're very careful about checking things, making sure everything's safe. Also, when we bring in beds, they're wrapped in plastic and stored in sealed trailers for a period of time.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
That actually helps make sure that nothing's on them. But then we also just look at them and make sure they're okay. We're able to make sure everything is in good shape.
That makes sense. And what about during 2020? How did that change? Did your demand go down? Did your supply inventory go up? Like, talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so it's interesting. I mean, obviously, no one knew what was going to happen, right? So, luckily, the way we operate, we were able to, adjust some things so that we didn't really have to shut down for very long. The first thing we did, we shut down completely for a few weeks when everyone was trying to figure stuff out. And the hard part about that was we had clients that were already on our schedule, that were already in housing, that were living without furniture. And so for us to call them and say, hey, we have to delay this appointment, was heartbreaking for them. And so we were able to raise money from individual donors and actually just purchase beds online, like mattresses that come in a box, and had them just directly delivered to clients so that at least they had beds to sleep on. So that was great. We were so fortunate that, donors stepped up and helped us make that happen. So that was kind of our first thing we did. And then after that, we, changed a little bit about how we operated. So we started using the sticker system so clients can shop in our warehouse by themselves or with one volunteer, but not in like a large group. And so there's just not a lot of contact, right? And we can deliver in someone's home while they wait outside, things like that. And so that's been good that we've been able to get back up to speed pretty quickly just because of, how we operate. It's relatively safe. We did see some uptick actually in donations. I think people were stuck at home and cleaning out closets, cleaning out basements, getting sick of furniture and buying new furniture. So that part was great. It was interesting on the client side. I think the demand went up, but it was harder for folks to access our services because we use so many referral agencies, and some of those referral
Right.
agencies weren't open, right? So like school social workers weren't seeing kids because the kids were
Mm-hmm.
at home, so they didn't know kids didn't have beds. Food stamps offices were closed to the public, so we actually had to adjust a little bit, and so we started doing like letting people just come directly to us to get furniture without a referral agency, just because we didn't want people having to wait until those agencies opened
Mm-hmm.
to get services.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. So this is just so much that's you don't even think of
Yeah,
how
we
one thing
didn't think about
affects
it till
the
it happened.
other.
We were like, oh yeah, we can't tell them to go get a referral from the school social worker because
Right.
they're not going to school. So that's
Yeah.
not gonna help anyone. Yeah.
And what about like Serta or like some of these like mattress companies? Do you have like partners with them that they're just like, giving you like last year's inventory?
Yeah, so we do have with all lots of retailers. They luckily sometimes they make mistakes in production, so we like when that
Right.
happens. Like if the tag doesn't go on the right place, and then we get them. So that's always a big win for us. So
Oh yeah,
we root for manufacturing mistakes so we can get the new beds.
that makes sense. And you've been an executive director for a while. What are some of the biggest changes you've seen in your time?
Yeah, so I mean, just for us, for the furniture bank, a lot of it's been, size, how we operate. So when I started, we just had one truck, now we have five. So serving a lot more folks. But as far as service delivery in Atlanta, our clients are more spread out than they used to be. It used to be that almost all our clients were located inside the city limits in Fulton County. But now we definitely see, a spread kind of the need out into other outlying areas. So we've had to adjust for that. As far as where we deliver to and making sure we're still getting to folks. So that's been great. I think that also there's been a big push for it's called housing first. So essentially, it used to be that folks were homeless, they went to a homeless shelter, then they went into transitional shelter, and then they eventually got into their own apartment. Now the city's focus is really on getting people housed quickly. Because people are just more successful if they're in their own homes, so getting them into apartments
Mm-hmm.
quickly and then wrapping services around them. And so we're a big part of that, right? Because if you're going to move someone quickly into housing, furniture needs to be available quickly. And so we've luckily been able to step into that role, which has been fun as well.
Awesome. Well, all this costs money. It takes, I mean, you mentioned 5 trucks. It's not just the trucks, it's the gas, it's the maintenance, it's the drivers,
All
it's the licensing. I mean, on and on and on. The warehouse, all this sort of stuff. Where do you get your money from?
Yeah. So our budget's right about $1 million. When I started, we were largely government funded. We are not
Uh-huh.
as much anymore. And so we've kind of tried to switch to be a little bit more self-sufficient, right? So generating some revenue in some ways. So interestingly enough, we make some money off bad mattresses. So if mattresses are in bad shape, we're able to recycle those. We also charge a fee to pick up furniture. So if you donate furniture to us and it's outside, that's free. But we started offering different levels of service. Like if you need a next day pickup inside your home, we charge some fees for that. And so that generates, revenue as well.
Now, are those fees tax deductible for folks?
Actually, not really, because they're getting a service, right? So it's more like you're paying for the service, which is I'm moving and I need my furniture out in the next 3 hours. Can you come right now, right?
But would they be able to write off the
donation
furniture?
is tax deductible.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And so then we get money from foundations and corporations. We have 2 main fundraisers. One's a gala, one is a 5K, and then individuals as well.
And you've got the 5K coming up on October 23rd. The race
Less than
for
2 weeks,
rest.
right? Yeah.
Talk about this one here. It's hosted by Monday Night Brewing. What exactly is going on here? Tell us about this race?
It is at the Monday Night Garage, which is their location in the West End. So just right across the train tracks from the Furniture Bank. It's a fun 5K. It's a Peachtree qualifier. It starts at 9. And at the end of the race, everyone gets a free beer from Monday night, a sample Bloody Mary from ASW. And actually, we just found today a Chick-fil-A sandwich. So runners get all that. And there's an after party with a live band. It's a lot of fun. We're expecting about 600 runners. And
601. I might have to sign up.
There you go. And then the shirts are really soft and cool. So you should totally do it.
Awesome.
And if
I'm
you
a
win,
runner,
you
so
get a
I
pint
love it.
glass.
Oh, if you win.
If you win your age group, you get a pint glass. Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a fast runner. I just like to run, so
Yeah. What's good?
I'll check that out. But folks, you can go to furniturebankatlanta.org, and while there, go ahead and make a donation. I got to tell you, while looking at your website, as a auctioneer, I recognized someone in Lance.
Oh, Lance.
Lance actually is for the National Auctioneer Association. He is one of the instructors for the BAS program, which is the Benefit Auctioneer Specialist. And he's fine man, just a really, really good person, great auctioneer. And Lance's son actually worked for me as an auctioneer at the Mempho Fest I mentioned on the start of the program.
Oh, so cool. Yeah. So my mom used to be a principal of a school in Ohio, and Lance used to do her auction. He does lots of auctions in Cincinnati. And one year our auctioneer fell through, and I called Lance, and then he's been our auctioneer ever since.
That's great. Oh yeah. Lance's class act.
Good people. Yeah.
So that's great. Well, is there anything that we didn't hit that you wanted to bring up?
I don't think so. Just, that we'd love to have folks come in and see what we do, right? Whether it's shopping with clients or building furniture. We really struggled over the last year that companies couldn't really come volunteer, right? So actually, obviously no companies wanted to come in a big group and be in an enclosed space, right?
Oh, the corporate volunteering. That's great.
Yeah. So we are really hope that's starting to pick up a little bit. And we're just really hoping that will continue to grow because it's a big source of furniture for us. And then also we realize, that's also where we get a lot of new supporters, right? So when it comes to advertising, say our race, we haven't had any new volunteers over the last year because of COVID. So really hoping, if listeners are working for a company and they're looking for something fun to do, we can do it at our warehouse. We also can bring the furniture building to your company. So we can bring all the building supplies to you as well. So we'd love to have folks do that.
That's fantastic. You mentioned relationships, and think about the relationship you have with the city and the relationship you have with supporters, donors. How do you maintain that? I mean, I'm going to make an assumption that someone that's been helped by you wants to give back, and that's probably a source. But how do you make this something that people are connected to on an annual basis?
Yeah. So, I think one of the good things for us is that we have a very easy entry point, right? So because people can donate furniture that they no longer want or need to us, that's a relatively easy way to engage first. And then at that point, hopefully then it's our job then to tell our story, right? And want them to get engaged more. But because we have the entry point of, who can pick up my sofa, right? That's a really nice advantage that we have. But then it's up to us then to cultivate them and explain to them why we also need money and volunteer support and all those things.
Yeah. Well, this is great. It's super great to talk with you. Really fantastic organization. And thanks for sharing so much about it. Before I let you go, I do ask all of my guests the same question at the close, which is, do you have another organization, a nonprofit in Atlanta, that you'd like to recommend to be a guest on Coffee Connections that have some insights?
I do. I'm going to stick with the theme of the banks. I think that the Tool Bank is an awesome organization in Atlanta. And it ties in well. Like when we have big corporate furniture builds, we rely on the Tool Bank to provide the necessary tools to do that so that we don't have to own them. But they are a great support to a ton of organizations in the Atlanta area. I think they do a great job. I think they'd be good guests.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I've heard of them, but I have not talked with them. So I look forward to that.
Awesome.
And folks, as a reminder, go and register for the Race for Rest, and you can do that at furniturebankatlanta.org. Megan, it was a pleasure talking with you today. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you all next week. Enjoy your day, everyone.